Welcome to Narcissism Freedom. If you're new here, this channel exists to help you recognize narcissistic abuse, understand the psychological tactics behind it, and reclaim your clarity, safety, and peace. And if you're returning, welcome back. You're here because something inside you has already started waking up, even if you couldn't yet put words to what you were experiencing. Today we're talking about something deeply unsettling, but incredibly important to understand. 10 warning signs the narcissist is obsessed with your every move. Not interested, not concerned, obsessed. Because when narcissistic control shifts into fixation, it stops being subtle and starts becoming dangerous to your emotional well-being. Many survivors describe this feeling the same way. It's as if you're being watched, studied, monitored, or tracked, even when no one is physically present. You feel it in your body before you understand it with your mind. And often, when you try to explain it to others, you're dismissed, minimized, or told you're overthinking. But you're not. Narcissists don't just manipulate in the moment. They collect information. They observe patterns. They memorize reactions. They track emotional leverage points. And when a narcissist becomes obsessed with you, it's not because they love you deeply. It's because you represent control, supply, validation, or a threat to their false sense of superiority. The first warning sign is how they always seem to know things you never told them. They reference conversations you don't remember having. They know about plans you didn't share. They bring up details that should have stayed private. And when you ask how they know, they deflect, joke, or accuse you of forgetting. This creates confusion, self-doubt, and a subtle erosion of trust in your own memory. This is not coincidence. It's information gathering. Narcissists listen differently than healthy people. They're not listening to connect. They're listening to catalog. The second warning sign is constant questioning disguised as concern. Where are you going? Who are you with? Why didn't you answer sooner? Why did you take that route? Why are you dressed that way? Why are you tired? Why are you quiet? At first, it feels like interest, but over time, the tone shifts. The questions become repetitive, intrusive, and emotionally loaded. You start answering automatically, without realizing you're being conditioned to report your movements. This is how surveillance replaces conversation. The third warning sign is how they react when your routine changes. Healthy people adapt. Narcissists destabilize. If you start waking up earlier, going out less, seeing new people, or becoming more private, they become agitated, suspicious, accusatory. Suddenly, your growth feels like betrayal to them. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your unpredictability threatens their sense of control. The narcissist doesn't need to be physically present to feel entitled to your consistency. They need access to your patterns. The fourth warning sign is how accurately they recall your past words and actions, often long after they occurred. They quote you. They remind you. They replay moments that you barely remember. And they don't do this to resolve anything. They do it to establish dominance over the narrative. It sends a quiet message that says, I'm watching. I'm remembering. I'm keeping score. This level of recall is not emotional intelligence. It's obsession fueled by insecurity. The fifth warning sign is how they insert themselves into every area of your life. Your friendships feel interrogated. Your family dynamics become topics of critique. Your social media becomes monitored. Your interests become questioned. Your alone time becomes suspicious. Nothing feels off limits. And if you attempt to create space, they escalate emotionally until you give in. To a narcissist, boundaries feel like abandonment, and abandonment triggers obsession. The sixth warning sign is their presence in places they were never invited. They show up unexpectedly. They engage with people connected to you without explanation. They comment on things you didn't share publicly. They like posts minutes after you upload them. They appear in your digital space in ways that feel too precise to be accidental. This is not fate. This is fixation. The seventh warning sign is how they punish you for privacy. The moment you stop explaining, oversharing, or justifying yourself, they accuse you of hiding something. They frame your boundaries as dishonesty, your silence as guilt, your independence as betrayal. Over time, You're trained to believe that privacy equals danger and that transparency is the only way to keep peace. But peace that requires self-erasure is not peace. The 8th warning sign is how they begin to mirror you unnaturally. They adopt your phrases, your tone, your interests, your emotional expressions, not to connect, but to stay psychologically attached. This mirroring keeps you emotionally familiar to them, even as you pull away. It also allows them to feel like they still have access to your inner world. This is not bonding. This is identity intrusion. The 9th warning sign is how threatened they become by outside validation. Friends who support you, therapists who empower you, content that helps you heal. Any influence that weakens their control becomes a target. They dismiss it, mock it, undermine it, or attempt to replace it. Because when others see you clearly, the narcissist loses narrative dominance. And finally, the 10th warning sign is their refusal to let the story end. Even after separation, they monitor from a distance. They gather updates through others. They watch silently. They resurface unexpectedly. Not always to reconnect, but to remind you they're still there, still aware, still watching. This lingering presence can feel haunting, but it's important to understand this truth. Obsession does not mean power. It means dependency. If any of this resonates with you, hear this clearly. Awareness is not paranoia. Your nervous system is responding to patterns your conscious mind was taught to ignore. You are not imagining this. You are not dramatic. You are recognizing behavior that was designed to destabilize you. Narcissistic obsession thrives in silence, confusion, and self-doubt. It weakens when exposed to clarity, boundaries, and truth. And here's the part they never expect. The moment you stop feeding the obsession with access, reaction, or explanation, it begins to starve. Not immediately, not quietly, but inevitably. Your power has never been in being watched. It has always been in choosing what they no longer get to see. If this message helped you name what you've been feeling, take a moment to like this video so it reaches others who need clarity. Share it with someone who may be questioning their reality. And subscribe to Narcissism Freedom for continued insight, validation, and empowerment. You are not alone in this. You are not broken. And you are not being watched anymore. You are waking up.